Hey everyone, Bob here, Overland Citrus. We're going to do a little install video, and what we're installing on the 4x4 Sprinter van today is going to be solar panel, hood mounted solar panels, which will charge the chassis battery. So this way, when we're out at a remote area, and let's say we're listening to the radio, or maybe we're not moving for 3 or 4 days, we do not have to start the van to charge the chassis battery. It will always have a trickle charge. They're 90 watt. I purchased them from Freedom Van Go in Jacksonville, Florida. Come with their own solar controller. It's an easy install. I'm going to try to walk you through as much as the install as I can and show you how that goes. And we'll take it from there. And then we do have some exciting stuff being done to the van on the 15th. It's a one-day fix. It's going in the shop, and we'll show you what that is. And then on the 17th or 18th, we're heading over to the big show. It's the big RV show in Tampa. And we're going to try to link up with Scott from Go Small, Live Large and say howdy to him. And then we're also going to meet up with my good friends from Indiana that run ABC Upfitters, and that's the crew that came down here from Indiana and installed my lithium battery upgrades, alternator upgrades. So we're going to meet with them, so that ought to be a good video. And then at the end of the month, we're heading over to the Space Coast for I think it's called Freedom Van Fest or something like that. I'm not sure, but I went last year, and we're going to go again this year. So we get a lot of good stuff. The season is starting for us for adventure, so we got a lot of things coming up. So I hope you enjoy them and keep watching, and we appreciate that. So let's get on with this install and show you how that goes. Okay, so we're going to unbox the hood solar charging kit now. It's 2 boxes. I couldn't tell you what's in this very long box. It doesn't make any sense to me, but we're going to know in a few minutes as soon as we get it open. Okay, so the small box, there was a small box in that long box, and in there is a decal or a sticker and the actual solar controller, which are very simple. Don't worry about all the other wires on here. You don't use any of them. You could cut them right off or leave them, or put a tie wrap. And then you're positive and negative for the battery. It's got some 3M tape, but it's got some holes. I'm going to put some self-tapping stainless screws in there because under the hood gets very warm, and first thing you know, the tape will fail and the controller will fall. And the other thing that was in that box, as you can see, is this long tube. And what's in here is a vinyl. They give you 2 pieces of vinyl, a little bit smaller than the solar panels, to install on your hood. And I'll show you how to do that. You're going to want to install that with some soapy water and get that on. It's so that in the summertime when the sun's out, it doesn't ruin your paint. I mean, you can pick or choose, honestly, I feel, if you put that on or not. It's just you got a chance of discoloring your paint if you don't put the vinyl. So this is the big square box. It's the actual panels. Okay, so in the big box is the panels, an instruction booklet, and it says right on them, and I'm just going to tell you that I already knew that, is you cannot bend these panels. If you bend the panels, they're glass, just like any other solar panel. They will break. So you want to definitely not bend the panels. So there's 2 solar panels in the box. So we're going to go attempt to place them on the hood and make some marks with some painter's tape on where we think that we want to put these, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what we did is we put some painter's tape, as you can see, as a guide. Now, these are glass. You don't want to bend them or break them, so you want to put them on the flattest part of the hood as you can. And then you got a little center bump here on a Mercedes, and you want to keep them away from that bump. And as you can see, they're marked right on it. Do not bend, and it gives you 2 points where you should hold them. But I'm going to say, as long as you're careful, you should be okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull them off, and we're going to wash that hood down with isotope alcohol, or any kind of alcohol that you have, and clean any dirt, debris, and wax. And then when you put them on, you want to take like a a little X-Acto knife or a pocket knife and pick a little bit, get that red 3M tape started, and leave the panel flat and pull the tape from underneath, if that makes sense, as you're pressing. Because the last thing you want to do is take all the tape off and try to stick this on in one shot. It's going to be crooked. You're never going to do it. It's going to be a nightmare. So we're going to get these off now very carefully, and we're going to get some alcohol, and we're going to wash the hood down. Okay, so we got the hood wiped down with alcohol. We did it 2 times, wiped it down really good. You don't want to touch this now with your hands and get any oil residue. You might even want to wipe your hands with alcohol. And you want to have your hood warm. They recommend about 60 degrees. So I'm in Florida. It's cool today, but the hood is nice and warm. It's been out in the sun. So you want to definitely make sure that it's warm. You cannot do this in cold weather. It will not stick to the hood. It does have magnets in the middle and 3M tape around the edges. So this is the most crucial part of the install. So take your time, go slow, make sure it's warm out. Okay, so we got one of them stuck down real good all the way around. And that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. One on, one off. And they're stuck. So we're going to take this blue tape off now on this side. And then when we get the other one on, we're going to let this sit here for about 20 minutes while we have a drink of water and take a little break and let that sun bake that in, because you really want that to be stuck. Once they're on, they're pretty durable. You can wash them, you can wipe them, nothing's going to happen to them. I mean, unless you you crash something down on the hood, it's going to crack the panels. But other than that, that's the first step, and to me, the hardest step is to get them mounted on your hood. Okay, and what we did too is I put one piece of painter's tape at the top, even though there's magnets, just to hold it, so while you're working on it, it doesn't slide down on the ground and break. So what we do now is we take a X-Acto knife and we pick a little piece of the red, and then we just pull the 3M and stick it down as we go, and as long as you're careful, it goes pretty easy. Okay, so what I do is I start a piece going each direction, and then see, you just kind of pull it from underneath, working your way around without picking the panel up. That's the best way for it to be done, and you won't have any difficulties. Okay, so they're both on. We just came in the garage. We're going to cut up the cardboard boxes and let the sun bake that in a little bit, stick it down. We put some ceramic coating back on the hood while we were waiting, just to keep the shine, the water repelling off. And I chose personally not to put the vinyl underneath the solar panels. Now I know I'm going to get a lot of haters out there on that one, but I'm really not concerned with it damaging the paint. They're never coming off. I'm not going to take them off. If I ever do sell the van, it'll be a long, many years from now. And I'm not concerned with that. I mean, I've drilled holes in it, mounted stuff, done all kinds of work to it. If you have one of these vans, it's custom. You're never taking those solar panels off the hood. So what does it matter? To me, anyhow, I don't care if the hood paint gets faded or something happens to it. And if I were to take them off and that was it, I'd either paint the hood again or I'd have it wrapped. So that's just my opinion. I'm not concerned about it. And I wasn't going to go through the added aggravation of putting that vinyl down and doing another step. But I don't advise anybody to do that because I don't want to be responsible if it ruins your paint. But that's how I chose to do it. So we're going to cut this cardboard up, and then we're going to open the hood in about 20 minutes, and we're going to start the wiring. So we'll be back. Well, before we start the wiring, I just want to give a big shout out to Freedom Van Go. I bought a couple of things from them in Jacksonville before. I've met them at a couple of overland gigs, and they're just a great company. In one day, I mean, I am in Florida, but they shipped it out right away. And I had ordered them from another company, and I'm not going to say which company, but I didn't know Freedom Van Go had them, so I ordered them. When I did a search, they came up. I ordered them before Christmas. They hadn't came in. I got no notifications, but I paid for them and the money was taken out of my bank account. So I finally called them the day after New Year's, and they said, oh, they're on back order. It won't be until the end of February. But nobody gives me an email. Nobody tells me. So I said, well, can I cancel the order? I canceled the order and got a refund. Then I went over to Freedom Van Gogh, and they had them. So I called to make sure it had the solar controller and everything all in one kit. I ordered them. They were very courteous on the phone. The lady was very nice. I ordered them, and I had them the next day. Everything included, and they were around $150 or so, maybe more, cheaper than the company I had originally ordered them from. So from now on, Freedom Van Gogh in Jacksonville, Florida is my go-to company for pots. I bought my grill there. I bought my rear shock mounts, I guess you would call that, the no shear shock mounts. I bought them there. And never had any problems. So they're definitely going to be my first go-to company. So big shout out, Freedom Van Gogh, and we'll see you at another gig someday, and we'll tell you in person. So now we're going to go open the hood and start the wiring. Okay, it's a 10 millimeter wrench to loosen that ground terminal up in there. And we already have a wire on there for something else we connected in. We did our lights and stuff there. So we're just going to pull this little brass thing. It'll come right off. Put the ground wire on there and you're golden. Okay, so the next step is pull out 2 Torx screws here and take out your rubber flooring, which you can see on the ground. Pretty easy. And then you have a metal cover. That's where your battery is. And there's 4 Torx. And they're number 25 or 26, I think. They're 25, Torx 25. So we're going to blast those 4 out and access the battery. So after you get that panel off, you're looking at your battery. And then you're just going to grab this red protective panel, yank on it pretty hard. It'll come right off and give you all your battery connections. Now we're going to want to connect that to any one of these bolts. We can put it here, we can put it here on the battery, and we're going to bring the wire in through the firewall. There's a rubber grommet, and come with me, I'll walk you around. Excuse the video of the front of my house. And hopefully you can see that grommet where those 2 black wires, I've already fished through there, I've used it multiple times. We're going to put that red solar wire right through that. Comes right up in the firewall. Very simple. Okay, so we got that all back on. Put the battery cover back on. And you want to make sure that you put that, even though it's kind of a low voltage, you want to put that in some wire loom. And I'm going to try to get you to see this spot right here. And there's like a hump in this battery cover. That's where you want to run that to so it don't get crimped. And then I just tied it to this other wire loom that was under there. This way that won't chafe and short out at some point. It is pretty much low voltage, but it is coming off the battery, so it's 12 volts and you wouldn't want that to spark out on you. So that's about it. We're just going to reverse the process and put the mats back in. And that's the finished product right there. They're on, they're charging. They look cool. Everything's done. I'd say it took me an hour and a half, something like that, maybe 2 hours to get the job done. If you have basic wiring and mechanic skills, you can do it. So, I hope everybody enjoys this video, and I hope if you do solar panels, it helps you install them. If anybody out there ever has any questions on my videos, please private message me. I'll be glad to help you out with anything that you have. If I can help you, I will. So until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the views and the likes. Drive safe, camp safe. Peace out.